Welcome to another exciting episode of Unraveling Intellectual Property with Michael Stein. Today, I have the pleasure of having Matthew Dickstein on board. He is one of my fantastic summer 2025 interns. He's done a fantastic job this summer. And Matthew, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, I'm Matthew, and I graduated from the University of Maryland with a degree in mechanical engineering, and I'm going to be starting law school at George Washington School of Law this upcoming fall.
Are you excited about this whole law school thing?
Yep, super excited to get started with all that.
All right, fantastic. You're going to interview me on something. What are you going to
Yes.
interview me on?
Yes, so today I'm going to be interviewing you on small business intellectual property and why it's important for small businesses and things that they need to do to be able to protect their IP.
Sounds great.
Um, so just to start off, like why does intellectual property matter for small businesses?
I mean, back when I started practicing intellectual property, people weren't so familiar with that. Nowadays, people, I believe, are very much familiar with that. Intellectual property is huge in protecting your business in different ways. Trademark, it protects your brand so that other people can't just use whatever brand you have to either push their own products, getting sponging off of your goodwill, or it helps identify, who you are. Oh yeah, that place. Yeah, I want to go back to that place, not just to any diner, for instance. With patents, if you don't seek patent protection, and it's not the only way because we also have trade secrets, but if a lot of companies, uh, it'd be difficult to prevent some bigger entity or even some similar sized entity from basically just stealing your idea and you being able to do nothing about it. If you're a copyright creator, someone can just basically well, copyright's a little bit different because that's something you get some copyright protection just from putting your creation on a tangible, readable medium, but you also get some benefits by filing a copyright registration. So it's important to know what you're going to do, what you have, and to understand that and maybe seek uh, counsel to help you navigate to essentially protect your business.
Hmm. Okay. And so building off that, if I was to go out today and start my own small business, what are kind of the first protections you think I should be looking into, and what sort of factors would determine what I should look at?
I mean, with let's say respect to trademarks, I mean, have you already started using the mark? Do you have a business already? Uh, or are you thinking about it? Because if, let's say you're thinking about it, but you don't want to use someone else's mark, you don't want to be infringing on someone else's mark, you might want to do a trademark search first, or taking a look at domain names and what else is out there, knowing, what the potential problems are and what's your market? Are you going to be marketing throughout the world? Are you going to be marketing in the United States, just in state? What is your business plan? I mean, this notion of intellectual property, a lot of it, I mean, you get some rights, but it's also a business document. And what are you going to do to benefit your business? With respect to patents, do I have not just an idea, but have I reduced it to practice? Doesn't mean you have to have a working model, but you have to have enough disclosure that this thing is going to work and be able to explain it to people.
Okay. Um, and I guess with patents more specifically, like if you're starting up a small business and you have something that you think you should be needing to get patents on, how important is that to get patents before you're using it and selling it?
Excellent. I should have mentioned that before, uh, but in the United States, we have what they call an on-sale bar. And if you start selling your product or offering for sale, or uh, you publish the invention through a seminar, through a publication, teaching or whatever, if you don't file a patent application within 1 year, you forever lose the rights because your own disclosure, your own offer for sale would be a prior art to prevent you from getting your protection. If you're interested in international protection, it's even more important because you don't get this 1 year grace period to file. So even if it's a day before where you published or offered for sale, uh, you might be able to get your patent protection in the United States, but you'll lose rights in most other countries because they're very strict, what they call absolute novelty countries. And therefore, it's important before you do anything with your invention, before you talk to family members and who will blurt it out or talk to other people, before you go trying to sell it, you should consult somebody so that you know what you need to do, maybe file a provisional application or even file the slideshow, and then to at least establish a priority in the patent office, and you don't necessarily, in that case, lose your rights to the invention for all time.
That's interesting because then I guess with patents, you need to do it immediately before you sell. But I guess with trademarks, you don't necessarily have to do it the first thing because you can start to get some rights as you're using it. So that would
Right.
be
Yeah.
an important difference. And then just for small businesses, what are some mistakes that you see them make? Is there any common issues that they have with their intellectual property and things that you would say they can do to avoid them?
Well, one of the problems is along the lines of what we just discussed. I've talked to some inventors, they're explaining the invention to me, and then I say, and now I've learned to ask this question first, but it's like, how long have you offered this for sale? Are you selling it? Have you published it anywhere? And if they say, oh, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, I say, well, thank you. Please contact me for your next invention. Another thing is knowing or potentially doing searches so that you can see what else is out there. I've had some clients or potential clients. Oh, I've got this restaurant. I want to name it blankety blank. And well, it could be an issue because they don't understand the extent of trademark law. And let's say McDonald's and fast food, and you say Mick with anything. McDonald's is, you could have a potential problem. Uh, and sometimes you get threatening cease and desist letters, and you respond without consulting an attorney. You could potentially say things that can be used against you later. So, first having some idea of what your rights, but then consulting with someone who really knows what they're doing earlier on goes a long way. Oh, another thing is I've seen people try to file their own trademarks and their own patents, and then they get all kinds of rejections. Their specimen isn't appropriate for the goods and services they're seeking to claim, or the disclosure isn't sufficient, or especially with patent eligibility, what's even patentable in the first place, forgetting even about prior art. And they think they're going to save some money. And I've had some situations where getting an attorney involved later will actually cost significantly more because they're trying to fix problems that easily could have been avoided beforehand.
So I guess, the moral of the story is to be educated at the beginning of the process and consult your IP attorney early before you create any issues. I think that's all the questions I have for you today. If there's anything else you wanted to say before we end.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a small business out there, I mean, there's different ways. I mean, there's multiple ways to protect computer software. Um, it can do copyright, trade secrets, even design patents, utility patents through contract, and there's trademarks have different rights, copyrights, and so and a lot of it's business decisions and how they interact with all these different intellectual property rights. Therefore, as you say, have some understanding of your rights at least and consult somebody, a professional, sooner rather than later. When do you go for venture capital financing? When do you go to raise money versus the intellectual property component? What are they looking for if that's an avenue you want to go in? So there's a lot to consider, and there's a lot of interrelationships that are you only get through a number of years of experience in dealing with these things. And that's all I have. That's all you got?
That's all I got.
All right, Matthew, thank you for interviewing me. To everyone else out there, thank you for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you on the next episode of Unraveling Intellectual Property with Michael Stein.